Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Bucket Think Tank for the round of comic chat, and we'll get right into it with Batman 153: The Dying City. So, we're pretty much fresh off the events of Absolute Power, yeah, as well as the whole end of the failsafe Zern R arc for Batman. So, what we have now is, well, Gotham City doing what it always does: keep on trucking on, finding the next gimmick to almost destroy it. Pretty much what happens now is, well, there's a lull in Gotham City. Everything seems to be moving on up for the 99th time. Uh, Gordon brings up, who is now a private eye, is one of the, hey, Bruce Wayne is like, revitalizing old Gotham, affordable housing, social services. You know, it's not just batarangs anymore to fix a city. And Batman himself points out, like, you're in a good mood these days. Like, um, it's like, Gotham's getting better, and so are its people. And this has brought up the fact that Edward Nygma, aka the Riddler, has now reformed, going straight, introduced his own cryptocurrency, because of course Questium. This is all part of his new revitalization thing, apparently with the idea that during the events of Zern R, he was experimented on and whatnot, and so he gets sort of a quote-unquote clean slate. Mayor Nakano, who finally seems to be doing some form of a good job, he was like, yeah, I don't trust him. So yeah, he's got his new tech company and whatnot. That's great and all, but nah, I'm not buying this. I'm not buying this. I'm gonna keep an eye on him and whatnot. Pretty much, Enigma's trying to get some more patents, some more approvals going through that has to go through the mayor, and Mayor Nakano's like, no, no. So what's going on through here now is, well, Mayor Nakano is kind of the biggest failure in Batman comics for the past ever, really, in my mind. Like, since I've started reading comics, which would be around 2012, I think, there's been no bigger failure in Batman books than Mayor Nakano, in my mind, anyway. So right now, it's sort of the issue that, hey, talking about fighting against Enigma isn't helping him in the polls. Re-election's coming up. So, what is Mayor Nakano going to do? He's like, no, I'm still not going to give him anything because I worked for the GCPD. I was a cop. I don't trust any of them. All right. So is he right? Is he wrong? Who knows? Deputy Mayor says, hey, man, maybe we should do it. He's not hearing it. His hot wife, Koyuki, comes in. Just as it's mentioned, there's some sort of club going on. Also, the his his marriage is being mentioned, but Koyuki comes in and Koyuki points like, hey, I think we should leave. Like, this isn't good for my mental health. Apparently, Koyuki battles with depression. I'm like, oh, then you live in Gotham. That can't be good. That can't be good. She's tried to talk to Chris, and he's just like, he just doesn't want. He just can't hear it. No, he's not listening. Meanwhile, Enigma Tech, all right, uh, Bruce and or Batman and Riddler have a conversation, and I think the best thing about this conversation is really Riddler's perspective. I'm not fighting you anymore because I've spent all this time trying to prove to everyone I'm a genius when I said I could just be a genius. Like, I need to stop trying to convince people I'm smart and just show I'm smart. There you go. Batman is like, yeah, so that sounds great and all. I'm going over all of your code, by the way. If there's a Trojan horse, I'll find it, I'll stop it, I will drag you out into the world, Enigma. All right? And of course, he also points out, yeah, so I was going through the floors of this building here, and pretty impressive tech. You've also got freeze technology, cooling it all down. It's like, yeah, so I kind of got that from Victor. He owed me one. Like, we help each other out sometimes. Uh, but it's like, yeah, fun fact, you still can't be here because you haven't found anything I've actually done. So, go. Meanwhile, Koyuki is talking about like, you know what? I kind of want to leave you, Chris. Like, Gotham City not be good for my depression. I want to take our son, go to Metropolis, like, or Central City, somewhere not Gotham. You should actually go to wherever Green Arrow is because nothing happens in Green Arrow City. Or or be even fancier, go to Coast City. Since that place blew up, nothing important happens there. It's usually resolved like within 5 minutes. So Chris isn't quite listening to Koyuki. He's like, no, this isn't it. Like, re-election's coming up, and once that's done, hey, we're good. All right, I can focus on everything else. But now they've been listening to each other. And so he goes off, leaves Koyuki, and as it goes through, Bruce goes into Wayne Enterprise to talk what's going on here. He's getting protested. All right. That, oh, Wayne Enterprise is helping the lazy and not caring about hardworking citizens. All right. All these like clinical trusts, these social services, free vaccines. What are they injecting into the children? Bruce Wayne's a commie. He's a commie. I'm like, okay, all right, Red Wayne. All right, little bit of political bias there, Zdarsky, but we'll see. Bruce, like, I don't care. They have a right to protest. Look, until it gets violent, I don't care. He goes in and he talks to his new CEO, and he's like, yeah, look, Bruce, this is all great what you're doing here. Um, but we're not really bringing in much capital for all these social services, like this all this nonprofit stuff you're doing. It's great, I love it, but we aren't really doing so well. Like there's nothing new coming in, and I have to say Bruce is a bit too cavalier about this. All right, he's a bit too relaxed about this whole thing. All right, there's no attempt like, hey, let's stop doing it, but let's focus on our other project, other endeavors to keep money coming in so that we can better, you know, fund these things, all right? And Bruce is kind of not listening, all right? He's like, look, I know the company's spread thin, all right, but Rowan, all right, you're doing fine. If expenditures, eclipse projections, we'll take a hit in the stock market, and we'll come back next quarter. So he seems to know what's going on, but it doesn't feel like he's quite listening. But I don't know. And again, Bruce isn't listening because as Rowan's talking about, hey, maybe we should do like a merger or an acquisition, like get something else going here. He's listening about, hey, there's been a jewel robbery, because of course there is, and he goes off, and as he leaves, Rowan is actually talking to Nigma, to Riddler. And I love that Riddler has a green bathrobe. Like the man loves his aesthetic. He's like, look, I need um I need the red tape lifted. All right. I need to look legitimate. And hey, Wayne Enterprises, Bruce Wayne is the son of Gotham's favorite family, or Gotham's first family, depending on the story. So I need that, or I at least need to get it. So everyone's like, fine, we'll go to Plan B. We don't know what Plan B is, but Plan B is happening. Meanwhile, the robbery is stopped, or at least slowed down, by this star-spangled person. And Bruce comes in, and Batman comes in, and he stops the truck as well. And Batman goes after him, but the dude pulls out a gun, fires it, knocks the dude both kneecaps. Like, oh, that is dark. Batman is not a fan of this. Like, no, you just fired a gun into a crowded street. Who the hell does that? He's like, no, it's fine. Meanwhile, Vandal Savage comes like, no, if what I see here was a great man here coming in, a great citizen coming to help the fine people of Gotham City. I'm going to presume that gun has a permit. Because this is what Vandal Savage does. All right, and the gentleman introduced himself as Commander Starr, here to help. All right, I'm like, okay, gun-toting vigilante nut job. All right, that's what Gotham needs. He even asked the guy, I'd like permission to help. And if I like permission granted, man, you gotcha. Because you're not that dude. Like, man, the was like, no, no. I don't like vigilantes. Look, if I don't like Batman, I'm not gonna like this guy. And Batman saved my life, all right? He saved a good number of officers, and I still want him to not be on these streets. If I don't want the guy that saved people that I can trust, quote unquote, on these streets, I don't want him here. And he's like, yeah, you know what? Fine. And I was like, you know what? Arrest Batman. All right, for his many, many crimes. Batman's like, yeah, no, smoke bomb. And the guy's like, I've had enough. I've had enough of you, Savage. All right, I'm going to file a motion to fire you. It's the most bureaucratic thing ever. It's like the scene from Futurama. Guards, bring me the files. I need to have this man thrown out of here. So Vandal Savage starts flirting with Commander Star, and I'm like, okay, weird, weird. Meanwhile, Bruce gets patched up a bit, talking to Leslie Tompkins, who has like one of her more normal looks, and they both sort of talk about how the city seems to not get better or there's still problems. Leslie's like, look, I've worked at this clinic for years and there's always problems. But it's a process, all right? It gets a little less worse each time, all right? So that's great. Bruce decides to be a common man and walk to the brownstone. At the same time, Riddler is getting off somewhere, like heading out for the day. Americano's heading home for the day. Bruce tries to help somebody, and so let's just cut to the fat here. All right, Americano gets home. He sees someone. Um, Bruce gets home. He sees someone. Riddler gets to his place, and he just starts touching stuff because hey, it's his company. He can touch whatever he wants. Is shot, and Rowan brings news to Bruce that apparently he has a brother. Dun dun dun. I'm wondering who's got the bigger twist here. Decano getting shot twice from the looks of it, or Bruce having a brother. To be fair, Bruce has had like three brothers over the course of his time. Mary Decano's only been shot from the looks of it twice. Um, So this should only be the end, but no, we are behind. So we go to the next issue, The Dying City Part 2. And well, we're all investigating. Luckily, among other things, I guess with Montoya being gone, Harvey Bullock is back as detective. So he's investigating the crime scene. And, we even bring Jimbo in here, and we're also talking about what's going on here, how to investigate the murder of Mayor Nakano. Koyuki has been brought in for questioning because, well, yeah, she would. She says she was at home. She was with her son um, that late at night, and she's like, you know what? She didn't do anything. She talks about, hey, maybe you know something or whatnot. Did you see anything? Also, I think it's kind of public knowledge at this point that their marriage hasn't been that great. But she also seems to be wanting to be keeping secrets, even talking about not even showing her phone. And she says she wants a lawyer. I'm like, look, it's not good. Gordon seems to be a bit apprehensive here as he's listening in, but of course, Gordon does not have any real capacity to work in here. It's like, hey, thought I'd like come in, you know, helping out, but fine, fine, fine. I'm gone. I'm gone. Meanwhile, Nigma meets up with, well, I guess a member of the Court of Owls, which is weird that they're here. The Court of Owls is involved, but whatever. And the new mayor is here. Well, former deputy mayor, now mayor, and they also talk about, hey, what's going on here? Hey, all those permits I needed are now here, courtesy of the new mayor. And boop boop a doop. I think that is fun. Also seems a bit convenient. Even Batman's like, hey, so how'd you know about this? It seems pretty convenient that the one guy that's here that's killed was the one guy that was stopping you, Riddler. Huh? Huh? Seem weird, Enigma, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Doesn't it? But of course, nothing can be proven, and so we go off somewhere. The police are there, like, fine, fine, I'm gone, I'm gone. I'll beat up some officers if I have to. And of course, we find out, yeah, with the Court of Owls. Now, for those that don't know, the Court of Owls is a secret organization operating in Gotham City since pretty much the city's founding. All right? They were introduced in Scott Snyder's New 52 Batman run. It's actually one of his best stories still to this day. So it's interesting to see that they're still involved here, and they had Batman shook in the first story, and they also had to reveal that Bruce may or may not have a brother. So yeah, yeah. So goes off. I'm look. If I find that you're connected to this Riddler, I will drag you out into the light again. So Batman, with what few allies he has left, the GCPD is able to get into the coroner's office and to sort of investigate what's going on here, investigate the body at least. Next day, we get Bruce is talking to Rowan about exactly what's going on, like how valid is this whole "I have a brother" thing going on here. Bruce sort of mentioned, like, look, this isn't the first time someone's claimed to be a long lost Wayne. It gets kind of depressing because I really would like more members of my family. But so, how valid is this? Ron points out, well, it's got an actual legal backing, like an actual law firm behind this. They've got him under lock and key. So I found that to be a bit weird, but whatever. He says his name is William Puford. All right, weird name, weird name. Um, so there's more to it. All right. His mother was a nurse that worked at Gotham General, where his father was a surgeon. So that ties the things together here. Is he wants Hay to sign over half of his shares in Wayne Enterprises. I'm like, so Bruce, like, why can't I just pay him off? Like, can't just like, hey, give him the financial value of the shares and we call it a day. Honestly, I'd be all right with that too. But the lawyers are saying that the shares give legitimacy. In other words, it makes it true. Like, hey, officially, I am uh, a Wayne. All right, I'm the son of Thomas Wayne. I'm an illegitimate son of Thomas Wayne, but I'm a son of Thomas Wayne nonetheless. So I am entitled to these shares. All right. Uh, Roman's like, look, my advice: just sell them the shares, give them the shares, and then buy them back. That's all there is to it. Quickest solution. Bruce like, no, because I can't guarantee that I'll be allowed to buy the shares back. Like, if the shares are his, it's his choice whether or not to sell them. Bruce, meanwhile, goes to talk to Leslie because Leslie knew the Waynes, knew Thomas Wayne, and yeah, turns out there's some validity to this. All right, there was a time she knows William's mother. All right, she was a nurse there, and on top of that, there was a time when Thomas and Martha were not in the best of places as a couple. I'm like, of course. Of course. Bruce is handling this as well as I think could be expected. Like, look, I know my parents were not perfect. No, my father wasn't perfect. Apparently, Martha Wayne has never done anything wrong in her life, though. Like, it's weird that over the course of like the past couple years, all we've really done is be like, yeah, Thomas Wayne was kind of an ass. But Martha Wayne did not. Martha Wayne was only a victim. Martha Wayne, at most, is a victim, and I personally don't like that. I think like, hey, look, bring both of them into the light. All right. But whatever, whatever. Meanwhile, there is a fight, uh, a riot going on here at a clinic, and Bruce tried to like, hey, let's calm everything down. Let's figure out what's going on here. And I was like, hey, it's the commie Bruce Wayne. All right, what are you doing? Why are you giving people vaccines? All right, what do you know about the mayor's murder? Like, what do you? What does that have to do with me? I'm like, okay, this is Zdarsky really going into the whole I don't even care anymore. All right, and Bruce is fine until they almost like hurt a girl, and he starts putting hands on the dude. But then Commander Star comes in, like, "I'll help you," and I guess he beats him up, like, "I'm here to help you, citizen." You know. Meanwhile, Bruce goes, puts on his Batman suit, like, I need to clear my head. Goes to Maricano's house to investigate the body, and Jim's there too. All right, investigating the same thing. Like, once a cop, always a cop, I guess. As they're going through, Bullock then contacts Batman, and they get a call too about what's going on here. And it's like, he's found some. It's not a gun. It's not pretty, but it's not a smoking gun, but it's pretty damn close. And it turns out not only was this place cleaned down, so a professional, but Koyuki was in contact with Commissioner Gordon. In other words, that's the person she's been seeing. And Gordon turns the gun on Batman. He's like, "A gun? You point a gun at me?" And this is sort of Batman, in this case, Bruce, sort of realizing, sort of like internalizing what's going on here. Like, he trusted his dad to not be that kind of person. And now it turns out Gordon may have killed the mayor because he was having an affair with the mayor's wife. First of all, I'm not saying Jim Gordon is ugly, but Koyuki was at least an 8 out of 10. All right. I'm not saying Gordon couldn't pull an 8, all right, but not at this age. Not at this age. Batman snaps, punches punches Gordon, and they all sort of fall down. As Gordon goes, I didn't mean to. I didn't mean to. I'm like, oh hell, Gordon done killed the mayor. And this is actually so I remember Batman comes out Monday, so I've been behind. And I was like, Zdarsky, don't do this to Jimbo. Not Jim Gordon. Not Jimmy. He's don't. First of all, Jim Gordon has a very terrible love life. All right, he cheated on his first wife. All right, named Barbara. All right, for Susan, who he married. She was on the GCPD. She was killed by the Joker. So after Joker paralyzed his daughter and then killed his wife, Gordon still didn't kill him, just shot him in the leg or the spine. He was fine afterwards. But I'm like, okay, okay, I don't, whatever. So I'm like, we're just messing with Jim Gordon today. So meanwhile, we kick into the dying city and a flashback. Part 3 is a flashback. So what happens here? Well, this is when Gordon and Bullock are just private investigators still, and it's pretty simple, pretty dull work. It's not the same thing. And Gordon admits he misses being commissioner. I'm like, yeah, you should have never quit, Tom King. or, or was it Tinian? I'll put a pin on blame for that. So anyway, um, 10 weeks ago, all right, he's met by Koyuki, who seeing him in private, like very hush hush, is talking about, hey, I think my husband's having an affair. Like he comes home, he doesn't want to talk. He's home all late hours of the night, and Koyuki's depression is sort of, I think, affecting this as well. Like, so she wants to find out if her husband is like cheating on her. I'm like, okay, fair, fair, but she's also going through a lot. Thankfully, though, it turns out that Chris Nakano was not having an affair. Of all his faults, he is a faithful husband and a loving father. Just a crap mayor. To be fair, there are worse things to be. All right. He's not sleeping with his assistant. She's at which I think we all sort of thought that was happening. But to be fair, Mayor Nakano is one of the most inconsistent characters in Batman, which is why he's such a terrible character. So anyway, as it goes through, they start to bond. They start talking. They're friends. Boop boop ba doop. And then apparently she gets attacked. Gordon defends her, like and even gets some gunfire going on here. And then they start making out, and this begins the affair. And then we come to 6 weeks ago. It's exposed. All right, the member of the club of the Court of Owls goes to Mayor Nakano. Apparently, they're trying to get Nakano to play ball. All right. And they've got pictures like, hey, your wife's been having an affair. And then we'll get to 5 weeks ago where it's like, yeah, sorry. And the decision is, hey, we'll go to Central City and we'll be happy. I'm like, no, Jim, stop being messy. Look, I know Koyuki's great. All right. She's like the best thing in Mayor Nakano's life, but still, I don't believe you're pulling her. So then 3 nights ago, Gordon goes to meet Nakano. They go to talk. Nakano, yeah, look, you are not taking my wife. Like, I don't know what made you think you were going to. All right. And they have a conversation about Koyuki, pretty much. Well, an argument about Koyuki, about her depression, what's best for her. And I think they both agree her depression is a thing. All right. They're not saying she's not depressed. They're really disagreeing on what the cause of it is. Gordon says it's Chris being a crap husband, I not talking to her, not helping her. Nicole's pointing out it's Gotham City and you aren't helping. All right. Fight ensues. He and next thing we know, Gordon brings out his gun, and his eyes turn red, and he shoots Nakano twice. And now he's in holdup, being interrogated by Bullock. And Gordon's like, look, I didn't do it. And I'm thinking, did we all not see the same thing here? But to be fair, we see everything but the actual gun being pulled. We see a fight ensued, we see gun being lifted, gun being pointed, gun being aimed, and we know Jim Gordon does not miss. He does not miss easily, let alone that close. And it was 2 shots. So he shot to kill. And he's like, yeah, look, I know, but I didn't shoot him. All right. And I need Batman to prove that I didn't do it. All right. Or at the very least, I need to find out if I did. So, in other words, something's up with Gordon. Gordon's convinced he didn't do it, but he admits to everything but the actual shooting. All right. So, meanwhile, Bruce has a nightmare. He talks to he's a kid, goes to see his dad. He says it's a nightmare, like, hey, you want to hop in bed with me and your mom? He's like, that's not my mom. I'm like, how dare you? If I say that's your mother, that's your mother. All right, get back in here. And then as he closes the door, he's met by Jim Gore, like, so how's it feel? How's it feel to be the only good man left? And this is Bruce is sort of like, hey, you know what? All of my surrogate father figures are either dead or have let me down. Alfred's dead. All right. Thomas Wayne has possibly been revealed to be have had an affair behind his wife's back. Apparently, Martha did know, and they got past it, but sure, but no. And now Jim Gordon. Not only did he have an affair, he killed a man over it. All right, so Bruce is trying to figure out what's going on here. And of course, while that's going on, there's talk in the news about, Commander Starr, Antifa riots. I'm like, okay, okay. I think Zdarsky is making a lot of mistake modern comic book writers are doing, and the fact that, they're trying to imply commentary, but don't quite know how to apply the commentary. So Zdarsky's credit here, he's at least keeping it in the background. Like, it's obvious that it's happening, but he does sort of seem to want to, I don't know. I don't know. Look, we'll come back to Zdarsky later when his entire run is over. We can properly examine it. Bruce, meanwhile, hangs out at the place where William is, like his supposed half brother, and he's met by the member of the Court of Owls. I don't quite get why he's always here. I think, but this one here is also a member of the legal team, and he's like, I just would like to meet the man who feels he's entitled to half of my company. And they rough him up. They don't quite, but Bruce knew this was going to happen. He's used as a chance to put a tracer on because Bruce Wayne doesn't miss. All right. So puts on the Batman suit and he goes to meet Gordon. Like, say, you don't get to call me by Batman right now. He points out, like, look, so I went to, back to Maricano's place and, yeah, you scrubbed off the cameras, which smart, but there are plenty of other cameras and I was able to use all those other cameras, the cameras outside the house and whatnot, because I hack things and I access all the other cameras, and I see you disposing of evidence. So this is also looking bad here. What is going on, Jim? It looks like you did it. He's like, I didn't do it. All right. And Batman himself is still obsessed about this. He says, I'm not going to believe it until I can actually prove he pulled the trigger. And when Gordon takes his glasses off, Batman's like, wait a minute, these glasses aren't your normal glass. Like, yeah, some kid bumped in me and broke them, so I got this new repair. They came in the mail. I'm like, okay. Now, granted, my glasses came in the mail, so now it's entirely plausible. It's like something ain't right here. Now the problem is, Batman is not supposed to be here. Vigilantes are still outlawed, especially under Vandal Savage. So he's looking at like something's up with these glasses. Um, the GCPD try to come in, try to apprehend him. He's like, hey, something ain't right here. Something's wrong with these glasses. He goes in, like, let me break into these. Like, something's in here. Tech. All right, this is tech's similar to the mind control tech of the Mad Hatter. Jervis Tech. Jervis Tech. Nigma Tech. Yeah, that was actually, I'm not gonna lie to that. It was a very good reveal here. And even further, he goes in, he checks it more, and he sees in the code the question mark. Riddler's symbol. It's like, you did it now. I'm coming for you, Riddler. Oh, and that's how the story ends. This was great. This was great. A bit confusing in some places, I won't lie. Not that it was like a bad mystery per se. I don't think that was it. But ultimately, this was an all right three-part story. I complained a bit about the Thomas Wayne thing because seems to be a lot of Thomas Wayne stuff going on lately. DC, we brought back Flashpoint Batman, Thomas Wayne, who just won't go away. I think he's gone now. Thank heavens. Thank you, Flashpoint Beyond. Uh, then we got the reveal in Detective Comics that he saved Joe Chill's life. Joe Chill being the one who will later kill him. So yeah, and then Now it turns out he may have had an affair. We're just dragging Thomas Wayne through the mud. And I'm like I said before, like, could we not do something with Martha? All right. The closest we ever got to doing something with Martha outside of Flashpoint, where it reveals that if Bruce dies in Crime Alley, she becomes the Joker. There'll be other stories where, let's see here, in Batman Earth 1, she is not only um, a Kane, she's an Arkham. She's descended from the Arkhams of Arkham Asylum fame. So yeah, but that's kind of it. There's very little done to explore Martha as anything more than this holier than thou character. I get why, because Bruce has always sort of looked to his father. The inspiration to become a bat was like, yes, father, I should become a bat. He never really says anything about his mom until Tom King, but Tom King is all about really weird obsessions with moms. But whatever. I'm glad Jim Gordon did not kill Mayor Nakano. The impression here seems to be that that Jim Gordon was being controlled by the Mad Hatter tech in his glasses. Now I kind of want to check these out, but then again, I've had these for over a year, um, so nothing yet. Who knows? The new haircut, yeah, it's weird. I guess sleeping with like a hot younger woman will do that to you. But this is like the third time because New 52, Batman is trying to rebuild Gotham City to make it better. After the death of Alfred, Bruce aggressively tries to rebuild Gotham City, and now here we are again for the third time trying to make Gotham City better. So, third time's supposed to be the charm, but we all know Gotham is cursed, Bruce Wayne is cursed, the Wayne family is cursed. There you go. Overall, I'm looking to see how we tie all this, the Court of Owls in, because the Court of Owls clearly are the ones behind this William fellow. Um, and of course, exactly what Riddler wanted. Riddler, how Jervis falls into this, but then again, we never quite knew exactly how Riddler, quote unquote, got Freeze's tag, so he probably just stole Jarvis's, or Jervis's. Anyway, with that, much brings to closure. If you're new to the Bucket Thinking, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Smash the thumbs up button. I'll catch you all later. This is the Bucket Thinking signing off. Thanks for watching. As always, may your fandom serve you well.